HealthPay's new retail module came to fruition because it was very much a lot of different vendors out there that healthcare providers were having to manage and to put in place. Some were very old, some were just more complicated than they needed to be in terms of managing them. There was also lots of frustration in different parts of the organization simply because they were having to be told no, they couldn't do something because it was just too complicated, or it was just a challenge for the administrative side to handle it, or they didn't have the tools available to them to handle this new opportunity or this new idea that a particular group had. As consolidation and mergers and acquisitions and things like that were happening across the industry, there was also lots of different kinds of healthcare groups coming together under the same organization, and being able to manage those things became very complicated. As I said, lots of vendors that were being involved, and so the value of what we were doing was pretty broad. It allows for an organization to consolidate into a single system, as well as a single reporting function, and being able to offer the consumer an amazing experience that they would expect in any kind of a retail scenario. And with the challenges that were brought to us from the recent pandemic, and the changes that were occurring at point of service there, it really gave us some ideas and some opportunities to improve this for everyone, both on the provider side as well as the consumer side, and being able to support all kinds of healthcare transactions, healthcare items, whether they're services or products. But really, it's strongly with the consumer in mind, and being able to support them clinically and making sure that the outcomes from a clinical standpoint are fully supported all the way through the payment process. So if there were products or additional services that went along with improving the care and the outcomes from a clinical examination or different diagnoses and things of that nature, they were easily brought together in the payment experience. It wasn't an additional burden on the patient to have to go to multiple cashiers, for example, or multiple offices or things like that. That could all be handled in a single transaction and a single payment experience at the point of service there. And so a lot of those stories were coming at us from as we were talking with our customers, as we were seeing changes across the industry occur, and we really wanted to have an answer that solved a lot of the pain points that providers, staff was having to go through, as well as on the consumer, and seeing the challenges that were there. It's already a challenge when you're not well or you're caring for folks that aren't well. We didn't want to make an additional challenge to go through the payment experience. And so this was one way that we saw to simplify that and make it easier for everyone involved. Our retail solution is groundbreaking in a number of ways, one of which is that it gives so many opportunities across the organization, whether it's to monetize assets that you already have. For example, in the wellness space, there are lots of machinery and courses and all kinds of things that you could offer to the community and be able to support different clinical outcomes, support different populations, and being able to really kind of broaden what the healthcare provider is to its community, and enabling all kinds of things to be things that the normal person wouldn't have in their backyard or wouldn't have in their home, equipment, classes, things like that perhaps wouldn't be normally available or hard to find, or something that you already as a healthcare provider have on staff and could do more with if you had a way to interact with the consumers, and not just patients, but actual consumers that maybe you don't already have a relationship with. So that's one of the groundbreaking things there is enabling that business and marketing and all of the things that you need to support your community right there at your fingertips, and being able to not have payments be the struggle or payments be the problem to overcome, but it's really the enabler to offering lots of different opportunities to the community. And then also we have, from how we look at the healthcare space in as holistic a manner as possible, from the patient side, but also from the provider side, and looking at the workflows and being able to see where those friction points are and reduce them or negate them completely. We have many customers that we're having to go through multiple systems, multiple transactions, being able to do that in one system and support customers at that point of service in any kind of scenario. We have a lot of pain points there in terms of the different workflows that are going on, both at the point of service as well as even in the back office and the finance and accounting departments, things like that, and having to really be all over the place and trying to do different things. And so our retail solution allows them to do it all in one system and be able to track individually. So whether it's at a specific location, you know exactly how that location or store is doing. You know whether they're, from the patient payments perspective as well as a retail payments perspective, or things that are kind of outside the traditional payment or EMR capability, and being able to track them together as well as separately. Looking at it, comparing location to location, trending information across your community, and what is the population doing, and how can we achieve better results, how can we improve? Being able to answer all those kinds of questions across the board is really the groundbreaking piece, is giving more information around all the kinds of transactions that are happening in the healthcare provider's environment. We've been working with 5 different companies, customers of ours in our beta program, and they have been part of the entire design and development process of the retail solution. And their feedback has been absolutely invaluable. And it's not that we haven't been talking to other customers, it's just that they have been able to dedicate specific time to take a look at our designs, to offer feedback in terms of how well or differently that will work within their environment, to give us insight into their strategies and what they're thinking about in the future, what they struggle with doing today, as well as what opportunities they're looking at tomorrow. And that really helped us. It helped inform how we built the product, but also what we were building and what we were focused on. It gave us not only a priority, but an order of what was most important, what was going to be the most valuable to them at any given moment, and it adjusted our roadmap and kind of how we were thinking about a few things. But very much the overall feedback has been fantastic and very positive, not only in the beta program process, the fact that they were able to be part of the design and build of a new set of functionality that they found very valuable and they were very excited and passionate about, but also that it was something that they knew was going to fit within what they were doing and help them achieve their goals. And so I think both from the process standpoint as well as the net effect on the product, it's been really fantastic and very, very well received in terms of how modern it makes their organization and really gives them lots of opportunities to go and tackle the next challenge.